Well, good morning, everybody. Hello. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are in our Stitchuation room. This is a Monday through Friday virtual stitching retreat. You hang out with me in here and follow me on my sewing journey, and I hope I can inspire you to put something under the needle. I said good morning. Well, if you're watching on replay, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you bringing me into your home or on your phone, in your car, on your walk, wherever you are. Well, look who's here. Look who's here. Oh, you got your Bella box yesterday. Yay, Bonnie, what fun. There's my sweet girl. This is a camera thing. Don't worry about that. This is my Frito. Hi, baby girl. This is our little rescue. You guys love your Frito time. Everybody needs a Frito fix, don't they? They need a Frito fix. Yes, they do. We got some Dave biscuits in here. There you go, sweetie. Want that? That's a good girl. Such a good girl. We had PVC and rebar delivered and some drains delivered for the pool. And she was so nice to the man who was doing it all. Oh, we got Woof Woof's belly rubs, ear scratches, Frito. You've got your own little fan club, don't you? Want your stick? You going to go brush your teeth? All right. Bye-bye. All stop for the dog. Full stop. Great to see everybody here. We're going to have a really good time today. It is Embroidery Thursday. And yesterday I had the thumbnail wrong. I changed, last minute. I was like, oh, I need to make the mini from On Wander Lane. You can see her little nub wiggling. Kathy, I know. She is a Queensland stumpy tail cattle dog. That's an actual AKC recognized breed. And they're born like that. It wasn't docked small. So neat little tip you didn't know you wanted, right? Well, you probably still don't want it, but there you are. Y'all, you guys were so sweet yesterday. I got so many emails from folks saying, Becky, don't wear yourself out. You've got a lot of irons in the fire and spinning plates all at the same time, and don't wear yourself out. So I had just had a very long night the night before with just a couple hours of sleep. And I got a nap yesterday after lunch and I was good to go. So very productive in the sewing room yesterday. And we'll talk about that, what I got done tomorrow on Friday. But today, I want to finish up getting the embroidery done for the On Wander Lane mini. I saw a question earlier in the chat, and it went by, and I can't remember who asked it. And I don't even know if it got answered because I ran out of here over to our virtual kitchen to go get some coffee. So, someone had asked, how can you get designs how can you get your machine, you have a Brother SE 1900, I think, to talk back and forth wirelessly with the ScanNCut? And the answer is you cannot. There are only certain Brother machines that have embroidery machines that have the My Connection feature. So there are only, I think there's only certain ScanNCuts that have the My Connection feature. And then there are certain embroidery machines that have the My Connection feature. And that's it. So the SE 1900 is not one of those machines, even if it has wireless capability. So you can send designs back and forth. About the 1900 having wireless, that I don't know. If it does, you can use the Brother Design Database transfer to transfer designs wirelessly to your machine from your computer if you are using a Windows computer. So I hope that helps. It's probably not the answer you wanted, but to be honest with you, I have My Connection on both of these and I never use it. I really don't see a need, but I'm not a vinyl crafter either. So that may make a difference. So you guys bought out all of the mugs that were on Liberty Laser's Etsy shop, supporting small business. Thank you. Appreciate that. There are still some cold mugs left, but the hot ones are gone. Maybe through Brother Canvas to ScanNCut. Yes, you can do that. You've got to have some kind of in between. You're right. And did I miss that? Let's see. So Margie says maybe through Brother Canvas to ScanNCut. Right. But that doesn't go to the embroidery machine, right? That's still back and forth between the computer and the ScanNCut, not the embroidery machine and the ScanNCut. Whether it's the downloaded version or whatever. Yeah, if you don't have my connection on the machine itself, the embroidery machine itself, you can't do that. That's the thing. They've only got certain brother machines that have the my connection. I'll show you what it looks like. You guys can see what's going on. Hola, Marisol. She's all, hola, I'm here. It's Fiesta this week. Look out. San Antonio. Don't go anywhere near downtown unless you're on the Via bus. It's crazy. Okay. Okay. So, Dave, it's called getting old. Dave's having pains. Hi, Donna. I'm glad you popped in. Good to see everybody here. Okay. So, when you go to, I think it's in embroidery. I think it's in embroidery. I think so. Pocket for memory. There's a cloud feature right here. This has a cloud with a pocket. There's no readable data in the temporary data pocket. Yeah. I think that's it. That's where you can get stuff that is coming from the ScanNCut. I believe that's where it is. Y'all, again, I don't use it. Let me go to home here, tell it okay. I'll zoom you in so you can see this. Let me find my button. That's the one thing. Baby locks don't have this feature. Okay, so you've got pattern and scan. Oh, there's an update. Pattern and scan. If I go back this way one, there it is right there, my connection. And it has the machine with the little wireless icon. Okay, that's the my connection feature. So you've got to have it on certain embroidery, certain ScanNCuts have it, and certain embroidery machines have it. And everybody's got, oh, did you get stung? Poor thing. I hate that. All right, so we are making Benadryl, Dave, the little pink tablets, unless you're allergic. We are making the little mini mama bird, baby birds, and the little hearts and all that, okay? This is from On Wander Lane, Blossom Trail book. Now, yesterday, we got all of the patterns scanned in. So if you didn't get a chance to see yesterday's video, I'll put a link up here-ish. Where are we? We're about 9 minutes in. Okay, I'll put a link up here somewhere, and then you can click on that and see how that was done. That was yesterday's Stitchuation room. So we got all the patterns scanned in and whatnot, and I began to build the embroidery design. I am going to open up Brilliance embroidery software right now and show you how to finish it up. And all I'm going to do is just point the camera at my laptop, because we've got some screens that can't be seen. So let me make this bigger. Okay. I want you to be able to see what I did here. You know what I need to do is pull this up in my phone just to be sure that I can see what you guys are looking at. Oh. Anyway, I'm pretty sure you can see this. Hold on one second, y'all. So this is the Brilliance screen. Let me zoom in a little bit. Hold on a moment. I need to get to my channel and make sure. Okay, now I see what you see and I can see your chat. So let me zoom in so you can really take a look at what I'm doing here. My my streaming software does not allow you to see my the pop-up menus on my screen. So let me back out just a tiny bit. All right, I think that that will work right there. Okay. All right, so here we are. Now, I need to get so yesterday when I left off, I was going to put all of the pieces where they needed to go. So we had gone through the objects panel right over here. This is the objects panel, and these are all of the little objects that make up the design that is in here. Okay, and this is still, I need to save it. I haven't saved it yet. It still says Untitled 1 up at the top. So let me save it before I go any further. I'm just going to go File, Save Working File As, and I'm just going to call it Birds Mini space MINI Birds Mini, and it's going to save it as a .be file, and BE is the working file for Brilliance. So I went ahead and got everything in the right stitch order. It's going to stitch down the tree branch and then the leaf, this leaf. I don't have these in the right order. Let me take a look at the design, the placement design, and you can go into Stitch Artist, which is this little sundial looking icon right up here. If you click that, then I can click on this little button right here. It looks like a tree with a sun behind it up in the upper left corner. And there's my design. And you can see I was able to place everything on it fairly close to what it's going to be. So let me pull up the Birds Mini. So this leaf right here is number 2. So I'm going to grab it on the picture in the objects panel and pull it up and hover it over leaf number 1, then number 2. And you've got little numbers on here you can see in the picture, or you can look, I'm looking on the placement diagram. This is what I'm looking at right here. Okay. So then leaf number 3 and leaf number 4. That's what I needed. And we need to put down the beaks. So beak 1, beak 2. I like my embroidery designs to go from left to right. It makes my brain happy. So beak 1, beak 2, beak 3, baby bird 1, baby bird 2, nest, mama bird, heart, and heart. Okay, and that's the end of, that's fine. So this one right here, I'm going to right click on it and move last. Again, I just like my embroidery machine to move from left to right. That's just the nature of embroidery machines, and so my brain likes to do that too. Now I need to get little eyeballs on these guys. All right, so I'm going to zoom in. I can see where the eyeballs need to be. Now my stitches are kind of in the way. They're a little distracting because you can see how the eyeball goes right through that stitch line right there. Remember, this beak is underneath the baby bird head. Don't worry that you can't see this, that this one is, the hidden stitches aren't hidden right now. It's just something on the screen. Don't worry about that. I'll show you in a minute that it's done. You can click this little eyeball up here in the upper left corner, and that'll make your stitches go away. And that makes it a little bit clearer for you to be able to see. So I'm going to, over here, we have drawing tools, this group of drawing tools. And on the bottom over in the last one, there's a little, I'll show you. You can see the drop down here. The default is the square. I'm going to click that drop down arrow and choose a circle. Okay. And I'm going to hold my shift key, and I'm going to do it out here. Hold my shift key, and I'm going to hold the mouse down. I'm going to draw a perfect little circle right there. Okay. Now, you can kind of, let me get back. I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. If you hold the space bar down. Okay, so there's my little eye. That's going to be my eye. And now once I've got it drawn, okay, you can come over here. So these are the drawing tools, and these are the stitch tools. So what stitch do I want that to be? I want it to be a fill stitch. So here's the fill button right there. Oh, you can't see it because I turned my stitches off. There, I click the eyeball again. Now I can see the stitches. I'm going to get my little hand and put it right back. that looks pretty good. So I'm going to right click and copy, right click and paste, and it pasted another one right on top of it. I'm going to grab that one and put it right on top of here. Okay. Whoop, I went too far. Okay. And then I'm going to click off of that, right click and paste one more time, and it came up. I have to get big so that I can grab it with my little hand. Hold on. Let's move this where I can see what I'm doing. There's my hand, and I'm going to put it right here. So there's Mama Bird's little eye. Okay, that's it. And we're done. Now, you want to make sure you don't have any what are called broken graphics. And I've already done this, but broken graphics can be gaps in the lines that your eye can't see, but the ScanNCut does. Command A or Control A to select all. And then in the Stitch Artist menu, I'm going to come up to Create Outline and Reconstruct Outline. And that just makes sure there's no gaps. There's a couple of different things you can do. Create outline. You can combine holes. See what happened when I did the combine holes? I got some reverse stitches. I don't want that. I'm going to Command Z and undo that. Okay, so that's good enough for me. Got to be careful. We got to watch things. I don't know what happened with that because I'm not savvy enough with Brilliance to know why, but undo is your friend. So I'm going to Command or Control S to save this again, and it's spinning there. All right. So now I want to create, hold on. Now I want to create my shapes to cut out. All right. Even though we had the shapes from Brilliance yesterday, now I know for a fact that the placement lines that are here, because we can see this in all these little pieces are done now. Now down here in the properties panel, let me see if I can move this a little so you can see better. In the properties panel, right here, it says Brother Embroidery Applique Position. I'm just going to click on it. And when I click on that, what comes up, it's called a thread dialog box. And you have two tabs in the dialog box, color and applique. And you can change the color if you want, but I'm not fiddling with that. I don't care about the color because I'm going to use my own on the machine. But the applique tab is what you want. And then here in the applique tab, you've got some fabric view. You can change the job of the stitch. It says applique position. You can tell it not applique or applique material if you're doing it the old-fashioned way without a cutting machine. I'm going to leave it applique position. But this box right here, this is what we want. It says cutting. The inflate, because I'm creating the embroidery, the applique piece. I'm not trying to make a piece fit an existing, like from Designs by Juju, that's an existing embroidery design. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to create my own for my design that I just made right here. So in order to make sure that the size of the shape that you're going to cut and the size of this design on your screen are absolutely identical, don't change the inflate. Or make it 0, 0. I'm sorry. If your default says like 1.5, change it to inflate 0, 0. And then you have a save A or save as, save all. That's what I want. Save all. And I'm going to call it Birds Mini. Okay. SVG. Birds Mini SVG, which is scalable vector graphic. Okay. And I'm going to click save. And it's saved. You know what? Let me put it on my desktop. So, Becky's MacBook. Oh, wait a minute. That's not what I want. I'm not savvy enough with this, you guys. Well, I guess. Let me see. Macintosh, library. So now I've really botched it here. Let's go to library. Oh, I'm looking for documents, and I've got all kinds of stuff I didn't want to do. Let me cancel this. I'm going to do it again. Save all. I'm still in library. I don't know how to go back. I wanted to just go to my desktop, you guys. I'm so new at this. Let me see. Oh, right here, desktop. There we go. Birds Mini and SVG. Sorry about that. And save. So I'm saving it on my desktop. And you get a dots per inch box that pops up. Just click OK. And you're done, and you can click OK. All right. So we're finished here. Now I need to save this as an embroidery design now. So I'm going to come back up to File, and I'm going to come down to Save. Let's see, I want to save the stitch file as, and I'm going to leave that on my desktop, birdsmini.pes. Okay, and you can change the file type down here somewhere. I'm going to tell it save. So now I'm going to go to New and Open, and I want my Birds Mini PES. This is the embroidery design. I'm going to tell it Open. So this one is the working file. This is the embroidery design. All right, and now I'm going to tell it Utility, Wi-Fi to Brother Baby Lock. Okay, you can do this with Brilliance and Birds Mini. Birds Mini Quilt. Tell it OK. And it should say File Sent to Machine. I understand the Avenir is having some issue accepting these designs. Result, File Sent to Machine. Click OK. There we go. All right. Success. I hope that was helpful. That's how I do all that. And it had taken me less than a minute if I wasn't talking through it and showing you guys how it's done. So let me come back over here. Okay. So now, remember, I created the cut file. Now I need to get my pieces cut. And how I'm going to do that is I had saved the SVG file to my desktop, and I'm going to send that up to Brother Canvas, because you can't go from computer to ScanNCut. You've got to have an in-between. Got to have something in between. So let me pull up. Oh, Canvas is up. Okay. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. So here's where we were yesterday. Okay. This is where we were at yesterday. And this is the scan, OWL Birds Mini. This is the scan that I scanned in with the paper pattern. So I want a new, I'm going to click the new icon right up here. And I'm going to go to project, and I want to change my mat to 12 by 24. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in that SVG file that I just created, that I saved on my desktop. So you click on SVG and choose file, and it's on my desktop, Birds Mini SVG right there. And I'm going to open. And OK. Now it's all still in the applique position color. So I'm going to highlight all of it because you can't see it very well, and go into properties. And I'm going to change the color on the screen to black. And now I can see it. Okay. Now all I'm going to do is move my stuff around so that things, I'm going to move them on the screen later, or on the screen later. Let me move this down here. Let's see, the red hearts are all the same color. Move those. And I'm going to put baby bird here and baby bird there. And here are the beaks. All right. So I've just separated them. You don't really have to do that right now, but it just makes it easier. And I'm going to call this Birds Mini. And I'm going to dash EMB, telling me that this is from Brilliance. All right. And then I'm going to click Save right here, overwrite this project. So I know that's the Brilliance file. Those are the shapes from Brilliance. All right. Now I need to download this. We already downloaded to PC the first time. The shapes from the scan are what we use to create the embroidery design. Now I want the shapes. These are the shapes for the cut file. So there are two different sets of shapes. One is the original scan that we used for the embroidery design. And this one is the new edited shapes when we got rid of broken outlines or whatever. So I'm going to click ScanNCut Transfer. And it says ScanNCut Transfer is ready. And I'm just going to click Close. Okay. So that's that. Following? Two different sets of shape files. That's a new thing from when I originally started doing this. When you use this method where you create your cut shapes in Brilliance after you figured out and reconnected outlines and all of that, where you figured out where everything's going to be, your accuracy is so much better. So be sure, if you watched one of my earlier videos, I was using the scanned shape as my cut file, and that's okay. It works, but your accuracy is absolutely spot on if you are using if you create your own SVGs in Brilliance. Okay. All right. So, hey, you guys, wander over to our virtual kitchen and give a thumbs up. There is a thumbs up button on your way in. And if you're watching on your TV, go ahead and grab that channel remote and hit the thumbs up. You guys, please share my channel and subscribe. That way we can spend more time together. All right. You got the Luminaire, Valentina. Good for you. Good for you. Congratulations. Everybody give Valentina some applause. She got a new baby. I told you that was a good machine. Good girl. You'll be happy, happy, happy. All right. So now, let me show you what my life is like here. I've got my little design board. I have all of my fabrics with the coordinating threads. This is how I choose, and I just set out all my stuff. Okay, so this is ready to go. The fabric has heat and bond light on the back. So let me move my threads out of the way. Let's see here. And y'all, I'm so lazy. I just lay my fabrics on top of the heat and bond on the glue side, okay, pretty side up, and then like this, right? But I just kind of overlap them, just a few threads. So I overlap the edge of the heat and bond a tiny bit with the fabric right here. And then I just overlap these with a few threads. And when I pull the heat and bond off the back, see, I cut out the holes so when I iron it from the front, I don't get my iron all gummy like this piece. So when I pull the heat and bond off the back, this is all probably going to stay in the same shape, maybe. Let me get a cutting mat. Let me see if I can find a long cutting mat that this will hold on. That's a short one. I'm digging. Okay. This is a fairly new, this is the Aqua mat. This is a 24-inch mat. If all you have is a 12-inch mat, that's fine. You just have to run it twice and cut the pieces different shapes at different times. Fairly new. I don't know how sticky it is. Let me open up the back of the table so my mat doesn't drape or drag or anything here. What are you doing, Frito? There we go. We need to get these shapes cut out. Okay. So you can go to all the trouble of approximately placing your fabric where you think it ought to go, or you can do like me and just leave it like it is. And then you can move them on the screen where they need to go. So I'm going to pull this off. Now I iron my heat and bond on from the front and the back and make sure it's super adhered. And so these fabrics just kind of stuck together, which is fine. No big deal. You want your fabric to look really glassy. See how glassy that looks? If it looks dull, that's not a good adhesion, and you need to go reheat it and do it again. There. All right. So I'm just going to throw this on here like this. It doesn't matter. Now, I want to make sure this is, I'm going to, do I have a brayer or a little scraper? I'm going to put this on pretty good. Just, I don't want it to pick up. Now, when you use a rotary blade, with cut files that were created in Brilliance, I don't know why, but the rotary blade wants to take forever to cut them. So I'm using a regular standard blade. You don't realize how much these are not mashed down unless you use the scraper. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I have bubbles everywhere. So this ought to work, so I don't have to use tape. There. That should work. All right. Hopefully that works. Okay. I got some pieces sticking up, and my little sensor is going to say, hey, switch your thing. Let me cut this. There we go. All right. Now, they make a fabric mat that's gold down here. They have the standard tack mat that is purple, and then they have the light tack mat. The mat that you use totally depends on how sticky the mat is. If it's brand new sticky out of, you've never used it ever, and you want to cut fabric on it with heat and bond on it, do a test and see how sticky it really is, because newer mats from Brother are not as sticky as the older mats from Brother. I don't know why. You may need to do your fabric upside down, paper on. All right. You may need to take a t-shirt, a regular t-shirt, and kind of pounce it and get some fuzzy on it if it's super, super sticky. You don't see me use a gold mat hardly ever anymore. If I do use the gold mat, it's pretty side down. You just don't want your heat and bond being pulled off the back onto your mat. So I tend to stick to the low tack mats, and if it's not sticking, I'll tape it down or use some KK2000 or something like that. Okay. So I just recommend that you, okay, kind of play with, do a little test up in the corner, down on the bottom, something first, and see how it's going to work. So let me load this mat. All right. Let's zoom in. Let's get our pieces cut. I don't know if I can change I can't get any, hold on here. The glare, maybe I can get you in closer this way. There, that helps a lot with the coloring. Okay. So you've got pattern and scan are your main menu items, and pattern are patterns that were in the machine when you bought it. I don't want that. I want the pattern that I just created up at Canvas. And in order to get a pattern outside of the machine from when you bought it, you go to retrieve data. Okay. And where do I want to get it from? From the machine, from the cloud, from a USB, or I might be cabled to my computer. I want to get it from the cloud. And that's going to be the last thing that I sent down. And there it all is. And see how I've got a black bar down here? That's because I've got to change. Let me see. Right? Yeah, I can't see that. This thing is set for, I'm going to go to the wrench. It's set for a 12 by 12. So I'm going to tap this and go to 12 by 24 and tell it okay, and tell it okay. And now my black bar is gone. What do I do with my button? I want you guys to see this. Okay. Oh, is it Joanne's birthday? Happy birthday. We got birthday cake in the kitchen, y'all. Wander in there. You're in the right place. It's pretend. Don't think you're in the wrong spot. So this is what I call the money button. This blue box right here with a bar across it. This is why the ScanNCut costs so much money. This is it right here. But you can do this on the less expensive ones too. You don't have to have top of the line. That is the scan the mat button. It says scan the mat and show as background. So I'm going to tell it start. All right. Now it's going to pull this in and take a picture of what it sees. See that? Juanita wants to know, how long do you leave the iron on the heat and bond when attaching it to the fabric? Manufacturer instructions say to leave it on 8 to 10 seconds. So I do 8 to 10 on the front and 8 to 10 on the back, just to be sure. All right. How do you stop the fabric from being pulled by the blade if the mat isn't super sticky and you have taped your fabric down? Heidi, I will, oh man, I can't. Oh yeah, there we go. Use some KK2000 from Sulky. Okay. So here we go. Now I can see where all my pieces go. Okay. Now I can see where they go. Now I don't know. Let me see. I need my, pardon me. I'm going to take my picture book here and look and see which leaves are what. Okay. I don't know which leaf is what, so who knows what the leaves are going to be. I could have figured it all out if I paid attention to it, but I didn't want to do that. So I'm going to take my little tree branch. Let me see. Let me move these around. The nest is way down here at the bottom. And I need to turn it around. This fabric is directional. So I'm going to go into edit. And on edit, you've got a stretchy arrow. Don't touch that. That will change the size of your piece. You don't want to do that. You have multiples and you have direction. And so I'm going to hit the direction and I'm going to turn it 90 and turn it 90. There we go. And tell it okay and okay. And then let's see. I need my glasses so I can see. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bump you. I had my, oh, here they are. So now I'm just going to go through and move these pieces around on the screen so that they coordinate. Here's Mama Bird. She goes up here. Mama Bird is right there. And then my tree branch needs to come up here. I'm going to rotate that. All right. Okay and okay. Oh, hold on. Let me move this. My little hearts. Where's my red fabric? Way. It's like I had everything. I should have put it the other direction. Okay. Let me go back up. Grab my other little heart. Come on down. Don't turn loose. They're so tiny. I'm going to put my hearts right here on the red fabric. Okay. And let's see. Baby birds. Where are those? Yeah, I should have turned this the other direction. I wouldn't have to be dragging stuff so far all over the mat. I'm going to put one right there. And my other baby bird. Let's see. Leaf. What does leaf 1 look like? That's the darker green. Okay, I'm going to use this one as leaf 2. Leaf 1 is the darker green, and that's over here, right there. I want to grab this bird. I need to move him and bring him right here. Okay. I should have grouped, I thought I grouped these, but I didn't. I should have grouped them at the, up on canvas. Then they'd all three move at one time. All right, and these all are the beaks. So that's why you don't have to exactly know where all of the pieces are on them. You know, you don't have to put them, don't waste time putting them precisely. Okay. And this leaf right here can go right there. There's a light one. So this is all done down here on the bottom. And this leaf, let's see, is a lighter color. What's this leaf? I think this leaf I want right here. Yep. And this one is going to go on this light piece right there. Okay. And then put this back. All right. That all looks pretty good. I know it's hard for you guys to see. Sorry. I'll put this. You're looking at the menu instead of watching me do. Sorry, I bumped you. My bad. Okay, so this looks pretty good. I think it's all going to cut out just fine. Close enough for government work. I'm good with that as an old GI. All right, so I'm just going to click OK. Now you've got to back out of all the menus you were in. This is the main menu again when you after your scan or before the scan. I'm going to tell it OK. Please select, cut, and start. Okay. If you are doing that hack that you might have seen on YouTube where you place a Cricut mat over, this, it's going to tell you it's got to change the thickness and then it wants to cut for like 15 minutes. You can run it once and it works. Look how that's sticking. Mashing down the fabrics helps so much. Is it the cord's hitting? Oh yeah, you're right. There. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Almost made it. My nest got a problem. Tell it okay. Let me see how bad that. Everything else cut good except for my nest. I didn't have it down tight enough. So I'm going to leave this fabric exactly where it is. The nest got pulled up by the blade. So I'm going to leave it exactly where it is. Okay. And I'm going to tell it okay. Now, what I want to do, first thing I want to do is, where's the KK 2000? I'm going to take some tape. That'll work. Neither of which I have right here. I know where it is. Hold on. I have both of them right over here. All is not lost when you have that happen. Just don't move the fabric on the mat or take it out of the machine. So I'm pretty sure my baby bird cut fine. No, he didn't. Okay. So the baby bird and the nest both need to be recut. All right. So I'm just going to underneath here. I want to lay this back down exactly the way it was with the KK 2000. Okay. I prefer that to the 505. It has a better sprayer and it doesn't smell as bad and it doesn't have as much overspray. Okay. What pulled up was this little piece right here. So I'm going to tape this down. This is how you fix this kind of boo-boo. All right. I think that will work. Now, what I'm going to do on the screen is go in and delete everything except those two pieces. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back. Okay. And I want to go to edit. And these three red boxes are a group. I'm going to go to group. And it says, do you want to do all of the mat or part of the mat? I want to do part of the mat. So I'm going to take this right up here and make sure that the little bird and the nest are out of the grouping. So everything else is in the grouping. I'm going to tell it okay. And then okay. And delete. Are you okay to delete? Okay. So now all we have left are the bird and the nest. And I'm going to tell it okay. And okay. It's very insecure. You got to tell it it's okay all the time. Please select, cut, and start. There we go. The hack on the Cricut mats, I'll show you, Brenda. Let's see if this sticks. Perfect. Ah, darn it. Yeah, it didn't do it again. No, that didn't work. Dang it. Ah! It worked on the bird. It didn't work on my nest. I've got some kind of craziness going on my nest. I don't know what happened there. Okay, that's okay. Let me eject this mat. I'm still going to use these pieces. I'll just cut the nest again. Not a big deal. So the hack on the Cricut mat is that you can take a Cricut mat and trim off all of the outsides of it and tape it to this mat. That's the hack. And I'm going to go to home. Okay to delete all patterns. I'm going to tell it okay and load the mat. And this mat doesn't load straight. It's got issues. Okay. It looked like it worked. Okay. You like my calmness when things happen? Oh, let me tell you, Cindy, that's my life. No reason to get all wound up about it because it's just going to, just figure out how to, it's just kind of an inconvenience that now I got to put heat and bond on the back of this again. It's kind of a pain. So, okay. So I need to get another piece of the fabric for the nest and get heat and bond on it so you guys can see me do that. I've got it over here on the other side. Let me go get it. Glue it to the center cutting area on the brother mat. That's what I tried to do with the KK 2000, Heidi. That's what I tried to do. Oh, okay. I've got all of my On Wander Lane fabrics right here. And here's the piece for the nests. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I really like the rotary blade as well. You like seeing boo-boos? Welcome to my world. You'll get to see your share of them here. For sure. So I'm going to cut out another piece of fabric. Big enough for the nest. I usually like to have about an inch extra all the way around. Okay. So my husband put my light back up yesterday in above my sewing machine and everything was fine. Uh-oh. And then I turned it on this morning and the light didn't work again. And I have to get by my laptop in order to be able to get to my ironing surface. This is how I do my heat and bond. Oh. Just going to put this on here. I overlap the edge just a tiny bit so that I don't get gum on the bottom of my iron. And just be very careful about that. Right up to the edge. Lazy man's way of doing this for sure. And because I throw my iron around, you can see why my surface is always scorched. Don't care. Okay. There's a little quilter's cut and press, and then I trim, making sure that the fabric, I can see a couple of threads. Okay. And that way I know I'm not going to get gum on my iron again. And I do it from the back. Just like this. And if yours still isn't adhering, your iron may not be hot enough. So sometimes it's the iron, sometimes it's the electricity flow that won't let it get hot enough. Ooh, that's a hot one. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to peel this off. And I'm going to put it on this mat right here. Okay, again, retrieve data from the cloud. Edit, group, part of the mat. I'm going to grab, let's see, all but this. I'll show you what I'm doing. I have to look all the time for my little button. Oh, it's right here. I just want the nest is all that I'm after. Okay. So the nest is right here. Bring that up. See that? The nest is right there. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to tell it okay and delete and okay. And then I want to group again, part of the mat. And hold on. I'm going to change this to a 12 by 12. Makes my life easier. All right. Now edit, group, part of the mat. Just these. Okay. Okay. Trash. Okay. And this trash. Okay. There we go. And then this goes about right there and tell it okay. See what I did? I got rid of everything except. Okay. So I've got the Cricut mat hack on here. And I'm going to tell it okay. Let me scan it so I can make sure that my fabric's in the right spot. The KK2000, it is in my Amazon store. It should be. If it's not, if you started on my link and you jump around in Amazon, you're still, I still get credit for that. So I'm just going to move this right where it goes right here. See? That's right where it goes. That'll be fine. Hopefully this works. I'm going to tell it okay. Please select, cut, and start. Okay. So you'll see it gets confused on the depth. So it'll say 1 minute and it may come back and say recalculating to 14 minutes or something. Yeah. Estimated time to finish cutting has been updated. Just let it run one time. And then I'm going to hit pause and quit cutting and okay and eject. It did it the first time. See? Just like that. It did it. Works. Totally works. I can tell you that because I don't work for Brother. How about that? Where can you source the... Dan, I've got links. I have links below in the description box, or I did. This is the On Wander Lane fabric line. There's On Wander Lane 1 and 2. And you can get fat quarters, which are, you know, that's expensive, but you can also get like layer cakes. You can get 10-inch squares. You can find some pre-cuts. But I do like to have, oh, Joanne and Brilliance does have a coupon right now. I have a link to it below in my description box with the coupon code. So if you want to get it, it's good through the 28th of April, in Brilliance right now. How do you know where to place the fabric? Why wouldn't you just put it in the upper left corner? Evelyn, I move my fabric around because I don't like to continually cut in the same spot in the upper left corner. It's just me. You can. That's what the Scan the Mat's for. When I've got a lot of pieces, I can scan and take a picture of where everything is on the mat. And then I can just move my pieces where they need to go. Okay, we're finally ready to embroider. Yeah. So let me get hooped. All right, let's get hooped. I didn't do this on purpose so that you guys could see me hoop. All right, I've got a little 8x8 here. This is a magnetic hoop. Lots of questions, you guys, about the safety of using a magnetic hoop with these machines. And I talked to Eileen Roche about this. And I'll tell you what she said in a minute. So if you have to leave, because I know some of you have to go, thank you so much for spending your morning with me. And we're going to finish up here and get this stitched out. We usually run long on Embroidery Thursdays. But I want to thank you so much for being here. Please give a thumbs up before you leave. Have a great day and see you tomorrow on Giveaway Friday. Okay, let's get back to this. Okay. All right. So I don't do a whole lot of super picky on the measuring here. What I do with my rotary cutter? Did it grow legs? Do y'all see it? Oh, here it is. It's on my ironing board. Okay. So I just make sure I have enough stabilizer. This is no-show mesh. Okay. And this works really well. So then you just take this and put it over it. And then you want to take the corrugated plastic that came with it and set this in here like this, halfway. Don't put it all the way up like that. Just set it like halfway. And then your hoop has some cutouts on the corners so you can get a hold of it easier. So I put those to the outside and stand it up like this and measure, you know, kind of where the edge is and make sure it's going to fit just fine. And lay it down like that. And then you can just pull this out. No bitten fingers. All right. Now I'm going to float everything. I didn't do any background quilting. Maybe we can. Let's see. I want these like this. This is directional, this fabric. Okay. I'm just gonna pin it. You can use the magnets if you want. I'm just going to pin it. Okay. And I'm making sure that my pins are well out of the way of the stitch field. Okay. So this will work just fine. It'll hold fine. I'm doing a blanket stitch. The only fills are the eyeballs, so I'm not worried about that. I don't have anything on the back like SF101 or any of that. Okay. So, okay. Let's embroider. Okay. Let me go to home and embroidery and the pocket for memory and the wireless icon. Looks like little radar waves, not the one with the cloud, the one with the radar waves. And it was called Birds Mini. And here it is right here. And I guess that's fine. I want it rotated just for my brain. I'm going to go to edit, rotate, 90, 90. There we go. And okay. I really would like some background quilting on that. So let's see if I can. I can go to add and my design center. I want to go into my design center and shape and a square shape, tell it okay, and size. And let's see, 6 by 19 by 6.19. I'm going to hit the little keypad here. I'm going to tell it 6.5 set by 6.5 set. Okay. And go to my patterns. These patterns, let's pick one. Select. Let's pick a pretty one. There's a pretty flower. That's beautiful. Like spring. Tell it okay. Tell it okay. Take my paint bucket and dump it in there. Now that's a little tight. So I'm going to edit it. I'm going to tell it next. Okay, so it has digitized it. I want to get in here and show you guys what I see. Alrighty. So I've got the 4 dark circles here at the bottom. I want the thickness to be 1. We'll just do that and lighten that up. And then the size, I want to make it much bigger. Okay. There we go. That's nice and pretty. A nice big design. That looks great. And tell it the outline. It won't let me turn it off. I'm going to tell it okay, set, and okay. So it's digitized that now. And that's what the background quilting is going to look like. And that looks good. So I'm going to go to edit. And on the background quilting, I want to flip it a little bit. I'm going to rotate 90. Yeah, that looks good. Tell it okay. And then I'm going to go to do not stitch. And this is the one, do not stitch, tell it okay. And embroidery. Ta-da. Oh, I got to go back into the, let me go to layout. Hold on, I got to return. Stitch order. I want, there we go. Background quilting first and then the birds. And tell it okay. Embroidery. Yay. Hope you followed that. You couldn't see what I did, but I was telling you what button to push. So you may want to check out on replay and just go back and kind of listen to what I'm doing. I know it's fast, but we're going to be here all day long. So if otherwise, Is my Frito treat container made with ScanNCut? Probably. I don't know. Glory Torres made it, and I don't know what she used. All right. I want to see the background quilting, so I'm going to put in a thread that will allow me to see it. I like to see my background quilting. I even made the birth announcement again so that I could see the background quilting on it. I don't know if I like it any more than the first one. So, all right. I just tie it off on the top and pull it through. And that's how I change my threads. I just do a single knot on the top. And put that down, tell it okay, and let it do its thing. Okay, now it's going to do its thing. Finally stitching. You need to get your ScanNCut out of the box, Kathy. Yes, you do, my friend. Yes, you do. Even if it's not the newest one, it still can do everything that I just did. Where did I get those background quilting designs? Were they in the machine? Charlene, yes, they are in Design Center. Do you have a Luminaire? They are in Design Center. Charlene, I have got pre-recorded designs where I show you how to add background quilting to embroidery designs. They're in my pre-recorded library on YouTube. You can see it all. Yeah, just open up the ScanNCut box, take it out, plug it in. I have a video on unboxing the ScanNCut. Okay. And it takes you just on YouTube search, just search unboxing ScanNCut, and my video will come up first or second. Look at that one, and I show you how to go through and get it registered, get it connected to your internet, and get all of that done. So it's very easy to do. Oh, this is so pretty, you guys. I'll show you. The Juju backdrops are so easy. Just pop it in the design. I could have used a Juju backdrop in this. Isn't that pretty? So I put my batting and material, but not a basting box. Tammy, I didn't really need to. I could do a basting box, but I don't need to. A lot of people like to do that. I've never done it. The basting box is just to hold it all together. But the pins are doing their job, so it's fine. That's really pretty. Sonia, she says, my machine looks so pretty in the box, I don't want to disturb it. Hilarious. Thank you, Brenda. You guys do what works for you. I know people have said to put a basting box down, and you can if you want to. You don't have to. The thing about the basting box is the basting box will go down right outside of the embroidery design. My bobbin thread is almost empty. Yeah. How about that? So I love a bobbin sensor. Who doesn't love a bobbin sensor? Why can't they make one for the long arm? Why? Okay. I have pre-wound bobbins. Okay. Does the Luminaire Avenir come with a stitch regulator if someone does free motion quilting? Yes, Dave, it has it built in. Yeah. Okay. So when we do this, on these newer Brother and Baby Lock machines, they have this button right here. It's a little circle. It's a knot button. So it says, use the reinforcement stitch button to sew a single stitch repeatedly and tie off the stitching. Reinforcement stitch, it's a knot. So I'm just going to hit the knot button and it's going to do a little tie off. It's doing a teeny tiny back and forth. Use the move frame key to move the embroidery machine so the embroidery frame can be removed or installed. And then afterward, the carriage moves back to its previous position. So use the move frame key. That's this button down here, move frame key. If you don't know what this is, you have to look at the book. So this is the move frame key. The carriage of the embroidery unit will move. Keep your hands away. Okay. So now it says remove the embroidery frame and replace the bobbin. Isn't that pretty? Coming out pretty. So yeah, the basting box will go right around the outside of the design, and you may not want it to go right around the outside of the design because then you're going to have to pick it out. Y'all, these are the best money spent. Oh my gosh, I've had this tube of bobbins. This is a Style A Class 15. The QR code at the bottom is 3003 on the last numbers if you want to get these. They have a 3003 and a 3005, I think. Let me see. That's the end. That was the beginning of the bobbin. Where's the end? Sometimes these are hard to find this end of this thing. Really? There it is. Okay. Okay, all done. Put the hoop back in. Tell it okay. And go. And it'll pick up right where it left off. How cool is that? Oh, really, Brenda? You haven't had that happen yet? That's what happens. And if you have, if you don't have this machine and you run out of bobbin, what you want to do is go into your needle plus minus. So tie it off if you can, or cut the thread. Some of them don't have a tie off. Like my PE 770 doesn't have a tie off. And so you just want to needle up, needle down a couple of times, and that'll get it to make a manual little knot. And then cut the thread, pull it out. If you don't have a thread cutter, you can just pull it out and trim it top and bottom. You also may, if you don't have a thread cutter, you also may want to, when you pull the hoop, keep that top tail very long and put it in a needle and put it back down directly into where it stopped and pull it out and tie it off on the back. That's the old way of doing that before they came up with thread cutters. Then change your bobbin thread and everything, and you may want to back up 5 or 10 stitches, okay, so that, or however many you need to be able to start wherever that bobbin thread ran out at, okay. Wanda, I love OESD embroidery designs. They're fantastically digitized. So, alrighty, so we're all done here, and now I'm going to do the placement line for the tree branch. So again, tie it off on the top with a single knot. Yeah, so on magnetic hoops with these fancy machines, okay, these machine manufacturers know that we all want to use magnetic hoops. And Brother even came out with their own magnetic hoops, right? So, and they wouldn't do that if it was going to damage the machine. So what they did was they took the brains, I would say all manufacturers have done this on these flatbed machines. They took the brains that were sensitive to any kind of magnetism and moved them to the other side of the machine. So you won't suffer any damage at all. I get my heat and bond. Oh, I bought mine. I bought like 4 or 5 bolts of it before Joanne went out of business. Otherwise, you can get it on Amazon. If you go to Walmart, they only have the little packages. Okay, so this is the placement line for the tree branch. OESD bought Designs and Machine Embroidery done. Bought them. So when you guys are going to be doing any kind of applique, I highly recommend you get some sort of firm flat surface for lap work. Makes your life a lot easier, especially if you're at a retreat. And if you're coming on the cruise, bring something like this. The machines are close together because they don't have ginormous tables. So if you're going on one of the cruises, any kind of sew and sail cruise, I really recommend you bring this or a Steady Betty or something to be able to do lap work, because you never, oh shoot, I didn't turn on my iron. You never want to do, I've seen people do this with lap work and they're trying to do it right. Don't do that. Don't ever do that, because especially with applique, you run the risk of the fabric shifting in your hoop, even if it's the regular regular hoop, not a magnetic one. You can mess up your registration by an nth of an inch and it'll look bad and you'll be disappointed in the finished product. So, snail mail hoops, Lori, that's funny. So let me get my little tree branch here while my iron does its thing. And in Brilliance, always leaves one little thread. Oh, this one didn't. Look at that. I didn't get the little one thread being stuck issue with the Cricut mats. So the stickier the mat, you probably don't have that happen. There's a little tail. See how these fit absolutely exact. They have to fit exact because they come from the same, they're the same placement size. The placement line created the applique file. So it fits exactly. No over, no shrinkage, no nothing. It fits exactly. Hold on. Okay. This is so much fun when it works. So much fun. Looks great. There, that looks wonderful. Oh, I'm on the wrong side of the thing. Whoops. Bye, Sonia. See you later. Have a good day, my friend. All right. So the cut file and the placement line are the same. So that's why it fits absolutely perfect. This is the Snapplique method. When you create the embroidery design, thank you so much for your super sticker flow. That's so thoughtful. Appreciate you so much. Now it's going to do the blanket stitch, final stitch. Okay. And it's perfect. Very nice. No, you won't have any issues with the, oh, you're still here? Oh, you were saying later to somebody else, my bad. We still hope you have a great day. Yeah. So nice. We have the nicest people in this group. We really do. Very, very nice. Whether you're in the chat or not, I've got the best viewers in YouTube land for sure. People form such a relationship with YouTubers. I watch a lot of a video series, Midlife Stockman. He's a guy who goes around in Detroit, and he cleans up old abandoned houses, the yards for those houses. And he was able to raise like $16,000 for somebody who needed a new car, a person in need. Wow. Yeah, look. Perfect, 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 perfect. Love it. My viewers are so nice. So, oh, if you're here and you're on Embroidery Thursday, beginning the 1st of May, then we go to 8 a.m. Central instead of 7, FYI, time change, okay? Next is that leaf, and I don't know which leaf that is. Leaf number 1. I'll just do a green. Let's see, it's supposed to be a darker green. I don't know which one it is. We'll have to get the leaves and see which one fits, right? And then I'll choose the thread color based on that. So I'm just gonna, let's see. It's supposed to be a darker green. Look what I do, y'all. I was stitching with this bobbin. I made a bobbin for it, the size L. So I just tape it to the bottom of the tube. Why not? That way I can keep it with it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the time change too. I'll still continue to get up at my regular time. That gives me more me time in the morning. I cherish that. I loved getting up before Keith when we were both working, have my quiet time in the morning, or getting up early on the weekends. Okay, so where are we at here? I'm going to stitch this leaf. Why am I turned around? Oh, it's fine. Now I got to figure out which leaf fits here. So let me I should have done this before. Let me pull up all of my leaves. Let's see. You're going to go into 4 a.m. chat withdrawal? All right. I don't know which one is which. So we'll just look at the shapes of these leaves because they're not all the same, and then figure out which one is which. It may be that one. I wanted the darker one. Okay. No, this light one is the one that goes up on the side, on the other side of the tree. Okay. And then this leaf. Not sure which one's which is fine. Because in the grand scheme of things, it just doesn't matter, you know. All right. So it's either this one or this one, I think, because these have kind of a flat side. And these are not the same. This one's got a little bit bigger, so I'm going to check it out. Marina, just go to YouTube search and do ScanNCut, Mac, Hack, Cricut, and see what comes up. I don't know how I found that. I have no idea how I found that hack. Let me see. Is it this? Oh, it is this one. Yep, it's this one right here. I want to show you guys. Oh, you can't see it. I was going to show you how the hidden stitches did not stitch on that. Yeah, it is this one. Okay. She used like clear packing tape as the tape on the sides. You know, these replacement mats are so expensive. So it worked. I'm just surprised at how well it worked. Laurie says, I love embroidery Thursdays. This is good. That looks great. Okay. Put my little leaf back on here. I need to pull these up, these other pieces. My poor little baby bird, one of them kind of chewed up. That's okay. He'll iron down and look good. What's next? What's next? The next sleeve. And again, I don't know what color, so I'll just stitch the placement line and figure it out. I think it's this one, I believe. The pattern says it should be this one. We'll see. I think it's correct. That's correct. Yes. Ha! Got it right. Love it. Okay. Yeah, I know it has the flap top, but I just wasn't sure which design I put on which fabric on the mat when I cut, because I just kind of threw them everywhere. Caution to the wind. Ah! Let me change my thread color for the final stitch to this one. Takes a little bit longer on these because on these particular On Wander Lane designs, I do change my thread colors with each piece of fabric to match. Unlike Amy Bradley designs where hers are digitized to have just black thread all the way around. Okay. I'm just pulling these out here. Another leaf. Now, if you wanted to, you could go into your embroidery design because these leaves don't overlap. You could go in on your embroidery design and rearrange your placement lines so they all stitched at one time, and then you only have to pull the hoop one time, iron everything down, and put them back in. You can do that. That's very smart to do that. I'm pulling these hearts out right here, making sure. Oh, Daddy just threw some kibble in a metal bowl. Frito's gone. She is gone. There we go. Okay, that's all done. Daddy's feeding Frito. Oh, so I had told y'all that we have given her a probiotic from Immubiome and called Immune. The company is Immubiome. They're out of Austin. And she still is itchy because the oak is very high around here where we live. But when he took her to the vet, he wanted to see about maybe putting her on that that anti-itch medicine for dogs. And the vet said, no, she's in such a good, yeah, I'm working on things above still, enchanted stitches. Yes. I can do those with you. Matter of fact, I need to do some blocks and get them done pre-record, so maybe those can be done while I'm on the cruise. You guys can get a daily. That looks really good. Where's my thread? So anyway, she said no, she didn't need to go on that anti-itch medicine because whatever we're doing is good enough. So how's that? I love large animal vets. They are, if you become a large animal vet, you have a love for animals and you don't want them on any medication. You're not in it for the, paying for the big bucks. So she does go to a large animal vet that is local to us here. But yeah, what's that called? Applique or whatever it is they put those dogs on. But so she is on the Immubiome, and I have that listed down below in the description box. It's not an affiliate link, but I have a link to it because so many people ask me, what's the itch medicine you've got for your dog? Anti-itch medicine. That is human grade. Smells like powdered. It looks and smells like powdered peanut butter. So bye, TM. Have a great day. Yeah, it's Krista, I don't know if there's a joint relief for that company. You can give them a call and ask. We put, Harley was our three-legged and blue. We put Harley on Cosequin, and that really worked. We picked it up at Sam's, I think, sells it least expensive. And the next leaf, one more leaf, is this light green. So I'm going to change my thread now. But yeah, that the company is called Immubiome, IMMUBIOME, and the product is called Immune, and it's marketed for horses. I want to thank the lady in England who told me about it. It works so well. She ships it into England for her horses. And then her vet told her it would work for her itchy dog, and it did. Frito gets, it's 1/4 teaspoon per 10 pounds. So Frito gets half a teaspoon in the morning and half a teaspoon in the evening. Okay. Last leaf. Yeah, the Things Above kit is a good project for getting stuff done while I'm on the cruise. So I'll do some pre-records. And these pre-records are going to be unedited. I don't have time to edit. I may not have makeup on, my hair, whatever, y'all. I'm just stitching. You're going to get what you get. It's going to be on YouTube. I'm not going to get all crazy about that. Okay. Last leaf. So pretty. It came out exactly like I wanted. I should go buy a lottery ticket. I got the right fabrics. Exactly like I wanted. Okay. My blanket stitching is so good. So Terry, welcome. Glad you popped in. Next. Okay, so all of my beak pieces, there are 3 of them, and I put them in order. I am going to jump around in the needle plus minus and stitch all of the beak pieces at one time, placement lines, and then I'm going to stitch them all down at one time. So this is what I was talking about, what you could do with the leaves. So I'll show you in the screen what I'm doing. I'll get up close. You can make your life a lot more efficient doing it like this. Okay, change out my thread. Whoop, I let go of it. Where'd it go? I can't see it. Jumped around. There it is. Okay, so we're going to placement line for one of the beaks. Now I could pull the hoop and do the final stitch, but I don't want to do that, okay? So I'm going to go to the needle plus minus, and I'm going to jump ahead one stitch to the next beak and place that. And I'm looking right here in my preview panel to see which design it's about to stitch. And let me go back to the next one. I'm sorry, jump ahead one more. This is the placement line for the mama bird beak. Okay, so now I've done all three placement lines at one time. Now I'm going to back up to the final stitch for the first placement stitch that it did on the beaks. And that's how you can make your life a lot more efficient. All right, so now I only have to pull the hoop one time and put the beaks down and one time. I got to figure out which one's which. I think they're identical. I think they are. There's one. There's two. I think the baby bird beaks are identical. Mama bird's is different. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing for the baby birds. Again, because you're doing this in Brilliance, you can change up your embroidery design so that all the placement lines stitch at one time. You just move them around in the stitch order. There. Don't move. Just get these put on just like this. Yeah, it's on Wander Lane. This is the Birds mini quilt, and this is from Blossom Trail. I have a link to the pattern book right below the video. Okay. So see what I did there? Use your needle plus minus key to more efficiently do your applique. At first you might be like, no, I enjoy doing this and I'm learning from it and all that. But let me tell you, when you get to where you're doing this a lot, you'll want to be more efficient in your stitching. There had to be a big learning curve on Soteri. You have been wanting to embroidery machine, but hesitate for that reason. Yeah, huge learning curve. It's a lot easier today with these fancier machines than it was, 15 years ago when I started. But you can just watch my channel and I tell you, when I make a boo-boo, I tell you guys and I show it to you and I show you how to get past that. I'm a firm believer that when you watch mistakes and then you see how to fix them, when you've got that knowledge in your head, you're not intimidated by it anymore. Okay, so I'm going to use my needle plus minus and jump ahead for the final stitch on beak number 2. Quilting in the country, Lori, when are you going to get an embroidery machine? You should. You'd love it. And one more. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing now with the birds. Let's see, bird placement line. Which one's first, dark bird or light bird? It doesn't matter. I'm going to use the same blue thread for the placement lines. Usually the placement lines, you really can't see them. There's my darker blue. I want for that one. So I'm going to use what I think. I don't want to change my thread 6 times. I don't want to change my thread 6 times because all 3 of the birds, by 6 times with 3 birds, it's placement and final tack down. So I'm going to do their placement lines in white, just like the background fabric. You won't be able to see them, but I will. And then I'm going to only do the final stitches. I'll change the thread colors, okay? So that's going to help hide, just in case any kind of placement line can be seen around the outside of the fabric. So this is a little trick you can do. Okay, so here's placement line for baby bird number 1. All right, jump ahead. Placement line for baby bird number 2. And I'm going to do the placement line for mama bird. Oh, that's the nest? No, I'm going to jump ahead. Placement line for mama bird. You can jump ahead placement lines when they don't overlap. Yeah, Debbie, in the Luminaire, I did change the thickness of the line from that triple stitch down to a single. All right, now I'm going to go back to the final stitch for the first bird. Okay, there we go. This is a great little trick to have in your pocket when you are doing applique that has a lot of pieces. The first bird is the dark one, okay? To be able to jump around, I've got a white thread that caught a loop in the tail when it's stitched. There. There we go. There's one. And baby bird number 2, that was the one that got chewed up in the ScanNCut. I think we salvaged it. We have the technology. Remember that saying from $6 Million Man? We can save him. We have the technology. We can rebuild him. We have the technology. Sometimes I like to use, I find it very helpful to use a pair of tweezers when placing applique pieces. You can get them exactly where you want, and they don't, because they'll stick to my fingers. I've got a little fuzz right there. If you have a fuzz on applique, trim it right away before it stitches down. It's very hard to clean up fuzz when it's got blanket stitching all over it. Right there. And then mama bird. I'll do the same thing for the hearts when we get to that point. I guess I could have jumped ahead and done the hearts now. There. Fits perfect. Love. I got a fuzz. Okay, good. Don't move. Tweezers are helpful too when you're, sometimes the fabric can be massaged to exactly match where you want it to be, and it's really hot. And while it's hot, you can use your tweezer to just get it exactly where you want. Very nice. Ah, hot, hot. Okay. So the first baby bird is a dark blue. My husband is leaving me today. He's heading to the coast for a boys fishing weekend. And I'm going to be without adult supervision until Harriet picks me up at the airport on Saturday. Yay! Woohoo! Sometimes you get this little loop in the threading process. I will cut maybe half an inch off of that end tail and it pulls it down in nice and clean. Oh, I love those doodle letters from Juju. Those are so cute. Okay, next is the lighter blue thread. Yeah, we can have a party tomorrow with mimosas since Keith's not going to be here. Mimosas in the kitchen on Friday. Kick off the weekend just right. You know, yesterday, so many people wrote me about getting overwhelmed and too many irons in the fire and that kind of thing, and they didn't want me to burn out. And I know Pat Sloan went from 5 days a week down to 4 because she was doing 5 days a week during COVID just to stay sane. But then life happens, right? Okay, next is the, oh, I didn't need to do that. I ran the placement line again for second bird. And so, you know, I was talking to Keith about this a lot. But if I didn't do this, I don't know what I'd do. I've got to have a reason to get out of bed. Okay, placement line for the nest. And if I wasn't doing this, you know, like my friend Dana, her husband just passed. She's really busy, but she likes to work out in the yard. And she's got like 4 or 5 acres she's got to take care of. And they keep an active yard in the first 2 acres of it, just busy, you know, all kinds of stuff she's doing. Huge property. And, or in the first acre of it at least. And that doesn't, I don't like working in the yard. I mean, I will, but I don't like it. It's not I have a brown thumb. Not my thing. She's got gardens and hanging pots and lots of, but I don't know what I would do if I wasn't doing this. I got to have something to do. I'd probably drive a school bus for the local district, you know. But then I don't know. I just don't know what I'd do. So I'm doing this. But I did switch it to 8. Bye, Nancy. Have a good day. Okay. Let me get my nest that we cut. Second. First one didn't make it if you just joined us. First one died. I tried to cut it again, and that didn't work either. But you always got to give it the old college try to do it a second time, right? Got my little birds. Oh my gosh, those are adorable. I love doing this. I love being an influencer in this industry. I love having the community that that we've built here. I absolutely love this. I love teaching you guys in person and going around and doing workshops. I just love it. It's definitely a part of who I am. And I just couldn't imagine not, like, even if I went down to 3 days a week, what would I do on those? I don't know. Because I have to have you guys keep me going. Believe it or not, you do, because my brain is like, all right, I've got something to do. I would have so many, I would be like I was when I was working my day job. I would have so many UFOs because I squirrel and I start a lot of different things and I don't finish them. Leave me a comment if you do that too, where you start something and then you kind of get tired of it and you squirrel. It's almost like an ADD thing. All right, I got to change my threads to the next for the mama bird. And having a channel keeps me accountable so that I have to, I absolutely have to finish these things because it's a promise I made to you guys. And it works. It works for me. It's an external motivator for me that makes me be as productive as I am. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for y'all. I'd look at it and go, oh, I want to make that. And then I wouldn't. Okay, jump ahead to the final stitch. I just don't have that kind of, what happened? Check and read. Did I not change? I didn't thread the needle. I was talking. Okay, go back to the start of that. I do that too. That's funny. Yeah, I do. I'll start something and then I imagine if it was a Kimberbell design, but I say that I still didn't finish those 2 panels on the Kimberbell hopping down the bunny trail. Still didn't finish those 2 last ones. And I put it in a package and put it aside because Easter is past and I need to, there we go. I need to move on. I got stuff to do. You're a strict one at a time girl, so you don't get out of control. That's good, Susan. I don't have that kind of discipline. I have a lot of discipline, but not that kind. And discipline comes in many shapes and sizes. Okay, going to do the same thing for the hearts. I'm going to stitch both placement pieces at one time and jump around using the needle plus minus button. So if you don't edit the pattern yourself in Brilliance, then you can do it at the machine. But I was on a FaceTime call with Kim from Kimberbell the other day, and first time she'd seen my sewing room. She's like, oh my goodness, let me see your room. So as I moved the camera around, she saw various Kimberbell things in my studio. And she was just like, oh, that's Kimberbell. That's Kimberbell. I said, yeah, I sew a lot of your stuff. And I told her we do that on Embroidery Thursdays and whatnot. Like the fabric is my favorite color, the little tote that we just did. She saw that and she was like, that's so cool. So that's why I started this sewing retreat, because I know when you are with a group of people, you have a tendency to finish things. I don't know. It's, they call it body doubling. I'm going to jump ahead to the placement line for the other one. So yeah, you body double. And so I'm sewing. Bonnie says, no discipline here. No, Bonnie, you're very disciplined. Bonnie is my rally manager for our RV Sew Together in September. I think we're full, or we might have one more spot, but we end up Bonnie she's on it when that's happening. She's very disciplined. Okay, so I need to iron these on again. I'm talking. So I know before I started this channel, I had a load of UFOs. And now I don't. Now I'm finishing things. And I wouldn't finish things if it wasn't for you guys. So I love this. But, and, having my granddaughter be able to watch is a big motivator to switch to 8 a.m., which is good. Okay, I got those fuzzies done. These are so small, I'm going to definitely be using my tweezers. I think these are identical. Maybe not. Nope, I don't think they are. You can make them identical in Brilliance if you want. You can just delete one of them and copy paste the other one, and then they will be identical. That's the beauty of doing this Snapplique method. You can make your life a lot easier in many ways. Okay, don't move. Yeah. Very nice. That looks good. Okay. And it's always nice too, even if we're not doing the same projects, that a lot of people put this on when they're in their sewing room just to have stitchy chatter going on in the background. And it's very nice too. Uh-oh. So what this did, I didn't create a new design. I got to show you. Uh-oh, stop. Cut the thread. I got to show you what happened. Midge, you need to log into Canvas at least every 7 days. That's why I say if you're going on the cruise, you need to log in within 5 days before you ship. And then when you get back into country, you should be okay. Just be sure to log in every 5 days. You know, because I have to log in back when we get back on land. I'm going to log into Canvas again and just make sure, and then we can go back out on my second cruise. Yeah. Otherwise, you can't get in. So here's what happened. Let me show you here on my screen. I didn't go create design, begin new design in Canvas. So you can see here what it did. After that last heart, it created the 3 eyeballs. See that? I should have told it create design, begin new design in Brilliance. And what that would have done is allowed a thread color stop between the last one. So I need to use my needle plus minus, go back. Okay, I need the final blanket stitch on this one. It did the final blanket stitch on the last heart. I've backed up and I've done the final blanket stitch on the first heart. Okay, I've got a thread color stop. I'm kind of jumping around back and forth. Now I need to get to the eyeballs. So both of my hearts already have the final blanket stitch on them, but it's all the same stitch. So now I'm going to take the black. These are going to be the 3 little eyeballs for my birds. Y'all, I've got birds, starlings that have nested on my front porch light. What a hot mess that is. Thank goodness nobody uses that door. Oh, what a mess. I have to go out there every so often with the power washer. All right. Trim this. All right, so now what I need to do is I'm going to come in here on my screen and I want to use the needle plus minus to get only to the eyeballs. All right, so I'm going to jump ahead one more. There they are. Now, I can see my little crosshair in green here. I know it's hard for you because of the glare, and I'm sorry. Let me see if I can move my machine at all, have it help. There, a little bit better. So it's going to want to stitch the final blanket stitches on the heart. So I'm going to go plus 10, let me 20, 30, 40. I could have plus 100. Okay, so it's moved to the eye now on that first bird. I'm going to back up in increments of 1 stitch at a time. Nope. backing up just to, oh, wait a minute. Where am I? Hold on a minute. What did this do? Let me back up one. Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Okay. I'm going way backwards. All right. Where the heck am I? I've got myself all twisted around and turned around. I'm going to go to, I went the wrong way. Okay, heart, final on the first heart, placement for the second heart. Okay. So now I need to jump ahead 10, 20, 40, 50. There's the tie off. First stitch on the eyeball right there. Woo, that was hard. Oh my goodness. I got turned around. Ah! So. Gonna do that little fill. Good. Oh, that is so cute. Oh my goodness, I can't stand it. Where do we get done? I'll show you guys. Hi, Crystal. Thanks for joining us. So, Crystal, we're time changing on May 1st to 8 a.m. Central. So that'll be 6 for you instead of 5. And here's the end of the design. Awesome. All done. Look at that. All done. Yay. Let me get in here real close so you can see the stitching, how pretty it is. Look at how good my blanket stitches are, you guys. So pretty. Isn't that adorable? Oh my goodness. This just turned out precious. I love the background quilting, which I added from inside the luminaire. You can always put a juju backdrop on there. I love that sound too, Sandy. So I will today be trimming this up. So my background quilting is at 6.5. Okay. I'm going to trim it up to 6 1/4. And I think that's the size. No, the whole thing is 6.5. Yeah. Okay. This whole thing is 6.5 because the branch from here to here is 6.5 as well. So I'll trim it right at 6.5 and go ahead and then put a binding on it with a little hanging triangle with a backing and everything and get it done. So this turned out just absolutely adorable. So you can make from a paper pattern. This is the Snapplique method that I teach. We did that little bird's mini. And here it is in real life. So pretty. Created the embroidery design from a paper pattern. I did not have an embroidery design when I started. So if you already have an embroidery design when you start, that's not Snapplique. Snapplique is doing it from paper pattern or maybe a plastic template, or maybe you're doing a shabby fabrics and they send you the little pre-cut pieces. You can scan those in as well and make your embroidery designs from that. And let the embroidery machine do all the work for you so you don't have to stitch it down with a domestic. You guys, this is so much fun. You will absolutely love doing this method. And I think you should definitely start poking around. Get that ScanNCut out of the box. Don't be afraid of it. You're not going to break it. All right, you guys, thank you for spending your time with me. And I will see you guys. I love y'all. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow on Giveaway Friday. Bye.